Hello all, very good evening. Thanks for joining the session. Let me share my screen. So welcome to the Amazon Web Services course. Let me give you the outline about this course as this is the demo one. So earlier I conducted exactly 2 weeks back a demo, but I want to again repeat the things, by considering this as the demo one, and then we will continue from here now. Right. So course is Amazon Web Services. Duration is 45 days. Fee is 4K INR. Prerequisite is good to have Linux basics, but not mandatory. Good to have Linux basics, but not mandatory. Access provided. Recordings will be given and soft copy of the material also will be given to you. And then certifications. After completion of this course, you will be able to get cloud practitioner certification, AWS cloud practitioner certification. You will be able to write. So able to clear once after you attend this session and able to clear AWS cloud practitioner certification by practicing the dumps, the exam dumps. Dumps are very important. I'm not going to give these dumps, but there were third-party sites where those gives us the dumps, and then model examination, practice environment they will provide. I will let you know about them. So this is in brief about this course. Amazon Web Services, duration is 45 days. Prerequisite is good to have Linux basics, but not mandatory. Access provider is recordings. Recordings with the validity are 90 days valid. These recordings are, not shareable or downloadable, so viewable, and then you can be able to, see the videos. 90 days is the validity. If required, let us also give 30 more days as well, based on the progress how we are making. Usually the day on the course completion into 2 times, meaning course completed 45th day. That means next 45 days will be the recordings will be available for you. And if required, we can also extend it based on your progress, how you are learning, isn't it? However, soft copy of the material will also be provided to you. Soft copy of the material with lab guides, with a lab guide, step-by-step lab guide I'll provide. So those lab guides you need to practice with, and then you will get the good confidence on this AWS services. So services covered, around 20 plus services, with Lambda, programming. Don't worry, I'm using Lambda programming. What is that? Don't worry, I'll definitely explain. So just in simple, 20 plus services we will learn here. Okay, this is in short about the course and its structure. So what is the course agenda? Okay, the course agenda is to, so this course agenda, the course agenda is to set up an infrastructure, public and private cloud infrastructure for the application deployments, and maintenance. So set up an production grade production grade public and private cloud infrastructure for the application deployments and maintenance. This is the agenda, meaning after learning these course, where we will be stand is we will be able to set up an infrastructure. What is infrastructure and all I'll explain in the coming up minutes or maybe coming up time. But you just consider we have to set up a production grade deployment or the deployment infrastructure and then the maintenance infrastructure for the applications. This is one agenda. Next agenda is what automate the infrastructure with the scalability. Automate the infrastructure with the scalability. This is second agenda. Maybe these terms are little new for you at this moment, but I will explain the agenda meaning is what in a moment of time. So let me first explain you the agenda meaning, why I have written this agenda. What its meaning is, let me explain first. So usually we have the any kind of an applications, isn't it? Maybe the Java applications, or maybe the Python applications, or maybe the Node.js applications or React.js applications, right? So all these applications will be able to deploy, meaning they required a cloud to run. Why the cloud actually? So if you can see my screen, I have an application. Application meaning, let us say like your Gmail, Facebook, Google Drive, like those are the applications. So I have also the application. Let's say this is one application. This is one application. Quickly, let me run this application. I'm just giving you an example why it needs to be maintained in the cloud. So I'm just running this application. Probably this application will run in my local machine, and I only able to access that application in my local machine, isn't it? If you also want to access the application what I'm now starting or what I'm now running in my machine, how you would? You cannot, because it is in my machine now. So let me go and then access the application, like your Gmail application, isn't it? Like your Facebook application. This is similar to that only. It's also kind of an application. So local host, let's say this is what an application. So yeah, this application is accessed in my local, isn't it? And after login, I will be land on the dashboard. Like once after you log into your Facebook, how you will be land on your Facebook page, where you can see your timelines, your posts, right? Your friends' posts or the comments, right? So you will be land on a page where you can see everything. Similarly, for this application, this is the page of once after the login with the admin, we will be land here. And then after we can see the data like departments. This is for one healthcare application. Now, this application, if you would also want to access, you cannot, because this is running in my laptop, my computer. So two options to get this application running in your machine. So what are those two options? So in my computer, what I did, to run that application in my computer, to run that application, what I did is, that is a Java application. That is a Java application. Then what I did, I installed the Java in my machine. I installed the Java in my machine. So assume this is my machine. Here I have installed the Java. Right. And this is a Java application, right? So it is using or running with this build tool called Maven. So I have installed this build tool in my machine. What are these build tools, sir? We are not understanding. Don't worry. Just hear the concept. Just hear the concept. And in my machine, I have this application related file. In my machine, I have this application related file. Just let me again take a screenshot of it quickly and then try to paste it here. Right, so this is what the application file in my machine. So as all these are all in my machine, I was able to run this application in my machine and able to see the application like this in my machine, isn't it? So now I am able to see the application like this in my machine because everything is there on my machine. So now in order to run the same application in your machine, what you need to do, you need to also install all these softwares in your machine. But you don't know Java, you don't know Maven, you don't know what is this .war file is, right? Then how you will set up this? And also, if 100 members want to access this application, will we ask the 100 members to run these Java installation, this var file, and then access the application? No, we can't say like that, isn't it? So this is the problem. Now, what is the solution for problem? We have to do this, all these things in one place, which will be accessed by everyone, right? Which will be accessed by everyone over the internet. So we want one internet service. We want one internet service, isn't it? So on that internet service, we will do all these things. Whatever I explained, all these things we will do on that internet service. And this internet service will be able to, meaning the application running in this internet service can be able to access by everyone, anyone, right? So we need one kind of a remote or a common place, where in that common place the application will set up and then run. This application can be also accessible to everyone over the internet, like how you are accessing your Facebook or Gmail or LinkedIn or any other applications like Outlook, isn't it? So you guys are accessing all these things with your internet. If you have the internet in your mobile phone, you will be able to go to the browser and then type www.gmail.com. Then you will be able to access your application. So over the internet, it is accessible. That means what? Here, what you understand? You need a internet-based service, or you need one place where we can deploy the application, where we can set up the application that can be accessed by anyone over the internet. So the application now can be accessed by the users over the internet from anywhere. So such feasibility, such location, such common place we have is called cloud. Right? What is that? Such common place where we can keep our application is called as a cloud. So in the cloud, we have to keep our application. Cloud meaning what, you know? In the cloud computing terminology, cloud meaning internet. In the cloud computing terminology, cloud meaning internet. So here, interesting. We need to know what? We need to know about cloud computing first. In order to understand the cloud, first we need to understand the cloud computing. That is the reason if you go to the AWS content, the module 1 is talking about what is cloud. Because you know, understanding of the cloud is very, very important. So what is cloud? And what is cloud computing? What is cloud and cloud computing is what we will see in our introduction to cloud computing section. Then we will understand why we need to use the cloud. So cloud computing, in this cloud computing, while understanding cloud computing, we also will see traditional infrastructure. That means way back in 2010, 2015, 2016, or maybe 2009, 2012, way back, you know, on or before 2016, there were a less usage of the clouds in the market. At that moment, how the people deployed the applications. Deployed meaning how the people made the application available to the users. Like when you go to your mobile Play Store, Google Play Store. Google Play Store is also an application. When you go to Google Play Store and search for an application called EPF, then you will be able to find the EPF application. Right? Try to search the, you know, Gmail or Outlook. You will be able to find the Outlook application. So that is what deployment, meaning someone placed the application in that location. That is called a deployment. So how the deployment before the cloud, right? So what is the traditional infrastructure is what we need to understand first in order to understand the cloud computing first, right? Okay, then we will understand the traditional infrastructure, and from there why we are moving to the cloud, right? Traditional infrastructure understanding. Once we understood the traditional infrastructure, understanding the traditional infrastructure and data centers. Understanding the traditional infrastructure and understanding the data centers, and then why are we moving to the cloud? Why are we moving to the cloud? Because with the understanding of this traditional infrastructure and then data centers, we will see some problems, some painful points we will see. Those painful points will be, meaning those painful points were removed by this concept called cloud computing. How it removed is what we will understand here. So why are we moving to the cloud? Here, cloud means not our traditional cloud. Cloud meaning the internet in our cloud computing terminology. First, we need to understand what is cloud computing. You can learn nowadays. You might have already know AWS is there. You might have know at least the words nowadays, right? Maybe your colleagues or your friends or your relatives might have been working on these technologies. You might have seen them. What are these AWS? What are these GCP? What is the DigitalOcean? What is Alibaba? What is Azure? What are these? These are clouds, are cloud providers, are cloud platform. So what is cloud? What is cloud provider? What is cloud platform is what we need to understand. So why are we moving to cloud? Then type of the cloud deployment. Why are we moving to the cloud? Then after this, we will discuss about the cloud platform architecture and cloud providers. So this is what we will understand next. Cloud platform architecture, cloud providers. Why we need to understand? Just now I told you, we are keep on saying the words called AWS, GCP, Azure, right? DigitalOceans, or maybe any other clouds, right? Maybe any other clouds, whatever you know, at least, right? So what are they called? Cloud providers or cloud platforms? So cloud platform is the basis architecture for this Azure, AWS, GCP, DigitalOcean, Alibaba, or maybe the etc. Any cloud. Any cloud provider you can take, their underlying architecture is cloud platform architecture. What is that cloud platform architecture is we must have to know. Then we will go for the types of cloud deployment models. That is public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, mixed cloud. What are these public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud, mixed cloud? And in real time, if you can see this architecture diagram, what is this cloud meaning? Is it a public cloud, private cloud, mixed cloud, hybrid cloud? What is this cloud is? This is what our production architecture. Here I have written what I have written. Set up a production architecture, production grade public and then private cloud infrastructure for the application deployments and maintenance. Guys, seems to be someone of you have turned on your camera. Can you please close it? Please turn off your camera. Someone might have started your camera accidentally. It seems to be. Please close it. Thank you. Right. So I said set up a production grade public and then private cloud infrastructure. That means what? After you are attending your course, after attending the course here, the outcome, what you can set up, you can set up this production grade architecture using lot of AWS services here. How we will set up? What is this cloud meaning? Is this a private cloud, public cloud, or mixed cloud? What it is, right? What we're going to set up, isn't it? So that is what we will discuss. We have to know about the types of cloud deployment models. Then types of cloud services. So cloud services meaning we have infrastructure as service, platform as service, and then software as service, right? And the others also, other three services are also came into the market now. What is these cloud services meaning? So what is this public meaning? Cloud deployment models like public, private, hybrid, and mixed. What are these meaning? Usually in real time, which deployment model we will follow? Assume if you don't know the types of cloud deployment models, but you have completed the AWS course and even you got the cloud practitioner certification. If interview will ask you in real time, you said you set up one production architecture, right? What kind of deployment model it is? If you ask, then there will be no answer. So what my mean is, we must have to know about these deployment model and then cloud services. Very important. These three concepts are backbone of your cloud learning. Backbone of your cloud learning. Very, very accurate clarity we have to get on these three concepts. Okay, however, future of cloud technologies, let us see. And then the advantages and disadvantages of the cloud we will see. So this is what the module 1 in our course content. So after this course, meaning module 1 is done, then we will go to set up AWS free account. But before that, we need to understand what is AWS, right? Why we have chosen AWS over other cloud providers. History of AWS. This is what we need to discuss first. Why we have chosen to go to the, why we have chosen to learn this AWS over the other cloud providers. A solid reason we should have. Few members will say billing, few members will say, some other reasons, but those are all absolutely valid points. But we also have to be justified why we are going for the AWS cloud. Though we have the other cloud providers are available nowadays in the market, which are even giving a much cheaper than the AWS, right? Which are a much cheaper than the AWS. But why we are going for the AWS? That we need to justify. So we will discuss about it. Finally, we will see the history of AWS, how AWS is started, right? AWS is started as a company and how they got the thought of, making this internet services, right? So if this module 1 is pretty clear for you, then module 2 will be very easy to understand. Module 1 is general concept for any cloud. Guys, can you please mute? Can you please mute? Yes, thank you. So module 1 is the basis for any cloud understanding and then the learning. So once the module 1 is done, then we will go to what is AWS, understanding AWS, why we are choosing the AWS, history of the AWS, and then AWS global infrastructure. Very, very, very important. Understanding the AWS global infrastructure. That is very, very important. So AWS global infrastructure, very important. I will explain. Maybe what I'm writing at this moment, you don't know, I know, but when time comes, it will be understand to you. So AWS global infrastructure meaning overall the globe, if you can see just for a while, let me type in the browser AWS global infrastructure map. If I can type, we can see the AWS global infrastructure, and just to scroll down, see this, you can see this map. What it is saying in global infrastructure, in which countries the AWS services are hosted, what are the regions, what are the countries, right? What are the availability zones? So there are some technical concepts we need to understand about this infrastructure. See, this blue is already there, yellow is coming up. So one more AWS, region is coming as in Hyderabad. So likewise, they planned in Saudi Arabia, they planned in some other countries as well to make their services available overall the globe. Why they have chosen that decision and what is the importance of them, we will discuss when time comes. But what I mean to say here, AWS Global Infrastructure is to understand in how many countries, in how many regions, in how many zones the AWS services are available. You should have to know, because interviewer will ask us while you are, because why you are learning AWS. After you are learning AWS, you will appear for the job positions, isn't it? While you are appearing for the job positions, they will interview you. In interview, they will ask these questions. Someone may show previous experiences, or someone may attend as a fresher, whatever it is, but they ask actually. So what work you did in AWS? In which region you have set up your production architecture? What is your production architecture deployment model? Can you draw your production architecture and then explain what are the services you have used in your production architecture? Can you explain how you have automated it and then how you have scaled it? These are general questions that we will get from the AWS interview point of view. When you work, then only you will answer 100%. When you work, then only you will answer these questions. Okay, so in this course, we will work to deploy the applications in this production architecture. That means in Kubernetes cluster we will deploy, and also non-Kubernetes environment also we will deploy. Both we will see. So what is Kubernetes and all? Don't worry, I'll explain later on time. What I mean to say is, in high availability cluster environment we will deploy, and then in the non-cluster environment also we will deploy. What is deployment? What is server? What is all these things? I will explain. Just hear my words, as this is a day one. Okay, so at this moment we got some interesting, or we got some understanding about AWS. If we go through this introduction to AWS module, then we will see how to subscribe to this AWS account. So in order to subscribe to this AWS account, we have to follow a couple of steps, and also we have to registered with the we have to registered with the we have to registered with the credit card or debit card. For example, if we can see, don't panic. Credit card or debit card, meaning they will charge only 2 rupees from your account, and those 2 rupees also they will be debited back to us. Credited back to us once the free tier account is created. So they will provide the free tier account for 12 months. I'll explain how we have to create a free tier account. Step by step notes I will provide. So this is where I'm talking about. They'll ask us to enter our billing information like credit card and all. Don't panic, please. Enter, because these two generate the bill for us. Going forward, we will use the AWS services, right? For them, the bill will generate. If we will exceed the limit, the bill will be generated for us. So that bill, right, will be generated for us on our details, on the account holder details and all, isn't it? So if you would like to pay the bill, then it will use the same card details which you have used while you were registering. And also you can choose another card number as well where you have not used it. But this is for what, identifying that we are true humans, and identifying that we have an identity in our country. Whatever the country it is, we have to enter these details, meaning the transaction we have to make success to get the billing on our on our credit card or debit card. Don't panic, please. I will explain how to use, without any billing kind. But for some services, maybe we'll get little bill like, around 800, around maybe 600, 800. Minimum, below 1000 only we'll get the bill for some services. I'll explain what are the billable, what are non-billable. Because we are going to build such a production architecture, and definitely with the all free set, we can't set up this. If we use all free set, we can't achieve even this one. If we can't achieve this one, then if you learn the AWS services without a basis or without a targeting architecture, that will be like tough for you to attend the interviews. So at one point of time, we have to at least sacrifice some amount like 600 to 800 or 900, below 1000 only, because we are building such a complex production architecture as the course is going on. However, we will see here how we can create such a free tier account, and then how to get the how to log into the what is AWS, how to subscribe for AWS account, and what is the free usage tier. This we will discuss. And after that, I will discuss the AWS certifications, how many levels of certifications available, DevOps guys eligible for what certification, and very beginner for AWS, very beginner candidates eligible for what certification. All these things we will discuss in the certification section. Then once after we have created our free tier account, let us log into the management console. So I will give introduction to the management console. Okay, I will give you the introduction to AWS management console, and also walk you through the AWS management console. So if you can see this is what the AWS management console. Let me say console. So what is this console? How we can understand this console? How we can navigate from one place to another place? Where we have to look up for the things, and all these things we will discuss. Okay, so all these things we'll discuss. So these are all the services you can see as soon as you have been logged in. In all these services, 200 plus services we have. In all these 200 plus services, what services we should have to focus on, right? So for all these, we have the 200 plus services here. All these 200 services, meaning what services we have to focus on. All 200 services learning is highly impossible. For one candidate, learning all these 200 services is highly impossible. Then what services we have to pick, right? What are the services important for us in the real time? So that services I will explain here. In fact, I also have been documented the services as a course content. However, so I will walk you through the AWS management console, and will give the introduction how we can use this AWS management console. And once after we sign in, right, introduction to the AWS management console. Once this is done, then let us discuss about the billing alarms setting. So we will understand billing alarms, understanding the billing alarms, and how we can set up them. These are very important, because we are now using the AWS management console. We can set up our billing alarm. Like, if my bill will reaches the $50, just send me an email. My bill will reaches the $100, send me an email. Like that, we can send the billing alarms. So I think this we will see once after we understand all the services, given all the services. Once we look at least the services that are required in real time, once we look at it, then we will see how we can set up the billing alarm. So by this way, we will understand about what is cloud computing, what is the cloud services types, what are the cloud deployment models, which deployment model we are targeting for, and how that deployment model we can set up using AWS. That is the concept. You got it right? So which deployment model we targeted for and how that deployment model can be achieved using this AWS is what we gonna understand by these two sections, module 1 and then module 2. Then after these two modules are completed, then let us go and then start understanding the services, AWS services. The word service is different in programming terminology, and the word service is different in cloud computing terminology. Okay, so we will discuss all these things. Maybe if any one of you might have been a programmer, then you might have heard about the web service. And here also we are talking about Amazon Web Services, isn't it? So you might have heard about the programming web services, programming language web services. And here is Amazon Web Services. What are the differences between these two? Right? So those things we will understand in the sessions. However, now the first service, once after we understand the module 1 and then module 2, the first service that we gonna see is the security and then identity services. Why we are using these security and identity services? So there is a concept called policies. AWS is providing the services to be accessed very securely. So there is a concept called policies. These policies are required to work with these AWS services. I repeat one more time. There is a concept called policies. Policies nothing but rules, permissions, grants, granting the permissions, enabling the rules for accessing something is nothing but a policy. If the policy is enabled, then only we will be able to access these other services and then work with them. So that is the reason we first have to understand the policies. But to understand the policies, we have to understand the users, groups, and then roles. Guys, please careful here. Users, groups, roles concept is not the concept of AWS. It is the concept of identity and access management. Such identity and access management is also provided by the AWS, and hence the same concept has been derived here as well. So it is very important to understand the difference between the users, groups, roles. Especially sometimes we never seen a much difference between the groups and roles. These are very important. What I'm talking is this groups and roles is not only the concept of AWS. For example, let me take the key cloak. Key cloak is one IAM server, identity access management server. So key cloak, groups and roles. So if you can see the screenshot, just to give you the idea, I'm just opening these things, but not to make you to confuse or not to make you too tough. I'm just explaining you the concept, that is the general concept where we need to focus on. See, groups, right? Groups are here, the users are here, roles are also here, isn't it? This is about the key cloak. And you can see now any other thing. For example, I can see WSO2. So WSO2 is also one of the identity and access management tools, where we can see the groups and then the roles and then the users. See this, users and roles, And also groups concept is also there in AWS, right? So likewise, what in WSO2. So likewise, what I'm saying is this concept is not only the concept of AWS. This identity and access management concept is a general concept, general security concept. So that security concepts also providing by the AWS. So how we can implement here? Like, multi-factor authentication. Did you heard about the multi-factor authentication? When anyone will be logged into your Gmail account from the other devices other than your mobile, what you will get? You will get one alert. That alert contains what? Numbers. If you click on that particular number, correct number, then only the other device will be able to access your Gmail, isn't it? That is called multi-factor authentications. Similarly, we also can set up the multi-factor authentication using this identity and access management providing by the AWS. Now, multi-factor authentication is not only the concept of AWS, it is a general concept, a general security concept. Now, what we will learn here, how the security is providing by the identity and access management services at outside, like Keycloak, WSO2, ForceRock, CA identity, Ping identity, right? Lot of identity and access management tools were there. So as how they are providing the security, our AWS is also providing the security using the concept called identity and access management, using the IAM service, identity and access management service. So we need to understand the security. What is identity? What is access management? What is identity provider? There are two things again, identity and access management and identity providers. What is identity provider? What is IAM? Difference between IDP and then IAM. IAM features. Getting started with IAM. Roles, groups, users, policies, and all these things we will learn as part of this IAM. Very important concept. Without learning these IAM concepts, we can't proceed to learn further concepts, further services of the AWS. The very basic, fundamental, and very important service is what our IAM service, identity and then access management. See, when we type IAM, we will see this IAM, identity and access management, right? See, IAM, identity center, single sign-on. So we'll discuss about this when time comes. I'll discuss a lot about this single sign-on, token-based access controls, multi-factor authentications, users, roles, groups, policies. All these things we'll discuss in the section of IAM. Okay, we discussed, we understood very well. Where we will apply this? Where we will apply this? Go to our production architecture. In our production architecture, we will be create these production architecture with the policies. The policies we will be create with the users, IAM users, right? This end user here in the architecture is nothing but the, the user, maybe the, here if you can see, these are the end users like you or me, customers. But this end user here is, the person who might be the admin of this cluster, or the person who might be the, developer of this cluster, meaning this infrastructure. So where this guy is created, this person created in the AWS IAM. See this AWS admin, developer, maybe Docker user, Jenkins admin, lot more. So in the production architecture, first we will set up the user with the proper permissions. Then that guy only can be able to set up this cluster. Okay, then what is the next concept? Okay, we understood now how to set up this security, meaning how to create the user, how to set up the security and all we understood. That is good. Then next to what? Next is what? Understanding the cloud compute cloud resources, elastic compute cloud. So one of the feature of our cloud computing is elasticity. Where are we? We will discuss somewhere, right? Features of cloud technologies. So one of the feature of this cloud technologies is what? Elasticity. So that elasticity, how we will apply on the computers. So here we need to understand what is virtual machine, right? Here we need to understand what is Amazon EC2, and then we need to understand what is virtual machine. What is virtual machine, right? What is virtual machine? What is Amazon EC2? Features of Amazon EC2, and all these Amazon EC2 instance types and all we will discuss about this EC2. Very important and core of our cluster, meaning what we gonna set up in our real time. We're gonna set up the machines, computers we're gonna set up. That computers we can provision using this EC2 concept, elastic cloud compute, EC2. The computers we're gonna set up. In that computers we're gonna deploy our application, like whatever the application I have shown you now. I just have drafted here this application. Here we are setting where we are deploying this in the EC2. What is this EC2? Another computer like your laptop, but there are some specific features for it, isn't it? It is a server. Now we need to understand here in our course content what is a virtual machine and we need to understand what is server. What is server? We need to understand. Then we will discuss about the further concepts of this EC2. So once we completed this EC2, what we gonna set up actually? We gonna set up these missions. EC2 worker node, EC2 worker node you are seeing right in the architecture. These missions we gonna set up. But before we gonna set up these missions, it is good idea that we will learn this VPC concept, virtual private cloud concept, along with this networking. If we understand this concept before the EC2, then we will be able to complete our production architecture to this level. I will explain. So once after the IAM is completed, let us discuss about the VPC and the networking. If we discuss that, see this in the diagram, you can see VPC, this outer box. This outer box is called as VPC. This VPC is having the two availability zones. In two availability zones, we have the public subnet, private subnet. Public subnet, private subnet. In the private subnet, we have to set up our computers. And then this private subnet computer should have to be available in the public subnet using this NAT gate. That means what are you understanding? You are understanding now, after completing this IAM, the user with the proper policy or the security or the permission can be able to set up this private cloud. Private cloud. That is the reason here we have seen cloud deployment models, isn't it? So once we understood the concept of this public private hybrid clouds, then you will easily understand what is this private cloud meaning is. And then we will set up the private cloud, virtual private cloud, right? And what is the advantage of this virtual private cloud is what, the machines, computers that we gonna set up here, which gonna contains the applications like your Gmail, Facebook. We have the Medilab application. This application will be inside this machine. This machine is not accessed by anyone without having the proper permissions, or these are all not accessible. The application inside these machines is not accessible directly, rather should have to be accessed through the public subnet using the load balancer. However, I'll explain this concept in coming up sessions, because if I talk this, it will be like a Latin Greek language for now. But I'm just pointing out the services that we are learning in an order, how those services will constitute our agenda, that is production architecture setup, isn't it? So that is what my intention. So we have completed IAM, we have completed the VPC, we have completed in VPC. Remember folks, VPC will take 2 weeks of time to understand and then set up. 2 weeks. None of these will take at least a week, but VPC alone will take 2 weeks for us. 2 weeks concept. You mean understand how lengthy it is, how bigger it is, how important it is, isn't it? Every one of you who is attending this course, every one of you should have to be set up the cloud using the VPC. That is what my intention. In that way, I will guide you, I will teach you, I'll provide the lab guide also to practice with the step-by-step screenshots. So I will give number of exercises to you as well. We have the application, 6 applications, 5 applications. So those applications you have to set up in this VPC. How to do and all I will explain, but you need to understand the concepts. Here you can see VPC peering, right? VPC peering, very important. Subnet, right? And then NAT gateway, NAT instances, NAT gateway. Very, very important actually, this concept. Without these concepts, if you just by normally learning, and then if you attend without doing any application or without setting up any production architecture, it will be very tough for you, because a lot of complexities we will face here. Creation of NAT gateway is what, it is cost prone. But how to create NAT gateway without NAT? What is NAT? Network address translation. So this is very important. See, which is conjuncting the private network with the public network, isn't it? So what I mean to say is the concepts of this VPC is very important than any other concepts in the AWS. Other concepts are just, like button clip concepts only. But VPC is little logical concept. We need to focus more. Because while creating the VPC, we need to learn a concept called CIDR, Internet IP's address ranges. That is what I have given here. Security groups with IP ranges, Internet network interfaces, and the CIDR, network blocks, network directories is what we need to understand. Okay. However, rest of the concepts we will discuss tomorrow. Like this is more into the course content, how I am covering, and the benefit what you will get if you can take this course is what my intention of explaining today. And tomorrow also I will explain all the services, and finally with all these services how we will build this architecture is what I will explain. Then from after we completed tomorrow and then after tomorrow as well, then we can start our module 1. So for everything I will give the notes like this. Module 1. So module 1 notes we will write like this. What is AWS? What is the traditional infrastructure, and then problems with it, and then the data center, cloud computing, why we went. So everything we will discuss, and then I will give the handouts, step-by-step notes I will give. That's all from my side for today. Anything else for me? Any questions? Anything else for me? Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I have one question. So is this class means from Monday to Saturday or means all 7 days? So I
No,
just want to know.
yes, it is from Monday to Saturday only. Sunday, no classes.
Okay.
Sunday, no classes.
And it's 1 hour class, right?
Yes, 1 hour class, but based on the need, let us also extend it to 1.5 hour. So please make your slot available for 1.5 hour. In that 1 hour to 1.5 hour, let us spend.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, folks. Thanks for attending the session. Yeah. Any questions?
Yeah, sir, same time, sir, 8 p.m. or any changes in further?
No changes. 8 p.m. Sharp 8 p.m. Let us start. No changes. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. I'm stopping my screen.
Okay. Now.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Anything else? For
Actually, I joined a little bit late. So, what about fee structure and the duration of the class?
Okay, let me showcase that. Actually, I have written here. Fee is 4K INR. Duration is 45 days. And you will get the recordings, everyday recordings, which are valid for 90 days. And if required, and if you will request us to give the more access, if you have not completed your preparation in 90 days, we will also provide the access. This is not problem. And a soft copy of the materials will be provided with the lab guides. Okay.
Got it.
Sir, I have pinned my question in the chat. Can you please check?
Sure. Just let me right away check it. Okay, one moment. Who is this? Okay. Is this related to DBA, Oracle DBA? How this course will be helpful for Oracle DBA?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So if you can, okay, if I have to answer this question, I have to showcase first AWS certification. Let me showcase this quickly, just not take more time. Just let me go to this AWS certifications concept. Here, if you can see the AWS certification concept.
Sorry, your screen is not visible.
Oh, really? Let me share it one more time. No coding, nothing, no coding. No coding is required. It's a button.
I don't know about remaining. Even beyond this example, if you're asking any doubt, I don't know.
Can you please
Related to
mute?
this example, is it?
Can you please mute? Yeah, thanks. Seems to be some parallel session is going in. However, see this. There is a AWS certified database specialty. So let me click on this AWS certified database specialty. And what it will cover in this one. This will talk about the configuration of the databases in the cloud, like relational databases, NoSQL databases, how we can configure, how we can take the backups, how we can maintain the data replications over the cloud. All it is talking about. Okay, so this in course content, if you can see, I have given the RDS, the section called RDS. In RDS, we will be set up the MySQL and also will set up the document DB. Both we will set up. But these two only doesn't sufficient for you. You also required the other services knowledge as well with these two things. So what I mean to say is my course is really not up to the guys. Can you please mute? Please mute. My course is not up to the level of this database specialists, because that much of depth or replications I'm not covering, because here the beginners are there, intermediate maybe learners are there. My intention of the certification, target certification, is the cloud practitioner. But however, if you attend this course, you will be able to crack the cloud practitioner certification, which is required to write these specialist certifications. So every specialty certification required one cloud practitioner certification. So this cloud practitioner certification is mandatory for this specialty certifications. So with the course, whatever I have drafted, we will be able to easily crack this cloud practitioner certifications, which we can use, and based on that knowledge, you can prepare for this AWS database specialist. which contains more and more about your DBA activities. Got it? Huh?
Yeah, understood. Thank you. So, but if we have to go to the database thing, do we need to do any one of the either like cloud practitioner or solution architect? Then only I can switch to database.
Correct. Not solution architect. Solution architect, DevOps, these are not required. So what we want is see here. Let me go to again this database. He given what is the prerequisite. I believe one basic cloud practitioner certification is required. So who should take this exam? AWS certified database. Speciality is intended for individuals with experience and expertise working with on-premise AWS cloud, relational and non-relational databases. So before taking, what is the recommended is what he have given, and one cloud practitioner certification is what he will ask us. So what does it take to win the certification? Let me just exam guide. Let me download this exam guide.
Sure.
Just let me go ahead. Introduction, target candidate description. See, the target candidate should have a minimum of 5 years of experience with common database technologies. But as per the general specialty certifications, one cloud practitioner entry level certification is mandatory. That is what the criteria. So maybe this criteria is not mentioned here. I can find out tomorrow and then showcase you. But to go to the specialty certifications, either this associate also not required. This cloud practitioner is good enough to go to either associate, to go to either the specialty, or to go to either this professional. Based on our experience levels, we can opt to these certifications.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you. Thanks for the details. And so if we complete this course, we should be able to attend the cloud practitioner.
Yes,
we can
without
go with
any,
that.
yes, without any hesitations or any things, we can go and then crack this one. But along with my course, we have to prepare some dumps, actually examination pattern dumps. So those dumps will be giving by some third party providers. I will explain about those third party providers. They are monthly subscription basis they are giving to us. For example, 1800 subscription is there, 1800 INR for 1 month. If we can take for 1 month and then practice well, 100% we will get the cloud practitioner certification. Got it? Huh? Yeah. Anything else? Any questions for me?
But generally outside,
Sir.
they will not provide
Yes. Outside?
sorry, yeah. Outside, they will not provide any trainings for database, AWS database specialist and all, right? It should be prepared by our own.
Outside, I'm not sure actually. Maybe providing, especially for this certification, maybe providing. But if we done the cloud practitioner, no need to go anywhere. We can easily learn this one with our own also. But the point is
Sure.
to go to this level.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sure. Okay, yeah. Any other questions?
Sir, soft copies which you are providing is also accessible only for 90 days, or it can be like we can keep it.
No, you can keep it. You can keep it. But
Okay,
it is better to download. The soft copy is always with you. But the soft copies won't be only for 90 days.
Oh, okay. You mean lab guides only, sir? I mean,
Sorry.
I mean, soft copies means lab guides only, right? Lab guides, which you have said lab guide on.
Exactly. Both, meaning the theoretical and then the practical. Lab guide meaning practical. Step-by-step execution is called practical lab guides. And also theoretical things, I will give the, notes. Like, just let me open this. For a sample thing, I'm just opening this. If you can see here, AWS lab guide. So here is the AWS lab guide, and here is the AWS notes. So this notes is a theoretical concept. Lab guide is a practical demonstration.
Okay. Both we can download it, like.
Yes, both we
can. Yeah. Okay.
Sir, my name is Yuvraj. I want to know about what is the job role and what is the responsibility of job roles will be provided by companies. So
Yes. So that is depends on the level on which we are entering into the job. For example, if it is just 2 to 3 years of experience, we will be appointed as a just a cloud engineer. If you can see this, just cloud engineer, we will be appointed as a just cloud engineer or cloud practitioner. The companies will give the roles as exactly same to this AWS roles as well. Exactly same they will give. Maybe some companies maybe generalize, they will give just cloud engineer like this, they will give cloud practitioner or cloud engineer like that they will give, but based on our experience level. And then what are the tasks and all is what you will get to know. What is our task, day-to-day task? There are day-to-day tasks, there are one-time setup tasks. What are our tasks? We will understand, you will came to know once after we done with this course content, because once we done discussion of this course content, you came to know this architecture setup. So from this architecture setup, we will draft our day-to-day tasks and all. So basically, in nutshell, what we need to do, we need to provide the infrastructure. We need to set up the infrastructure. Now, what is infrastructure? How to set up? That depends on the project to project. But however, if it is a cloud, that is AWS, we have to take few minimum things or common things. That is what we will draft as our one-time setup activities. And then the day-to-day activities are there, couple of like log monitoring, log metrics configurations and all. That going forward, I will explain. Maybe this is the day one. I may not give you the answers at this moment, because if I give the answers, you may not understand now. So once we complete the course content, then we will derive the concept called AWS job role, salaries in India and in abroad, especially in India, we will see, and then AWS, day-to-day tasks, and then the responsibilities we'll discuss. Got it? Huh?
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Will you target in the future like associate and professional course? Hello.
Yeah. I'm able to hear you. Yes. I will target. I will target for them in future on time. In future in time, I will target.
Like how many months do you have any idea? Like of associate and professional course?
Basically, once we've done this cloud practitioner, the rest of all the things will take just a month. Just 1 month, 1 month it will take with the duration. So, but I will take each and every course for 45 days.
Okay,
because lot of realistical concepts we need to implement and then execute.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else for me, folks?
this course will cover for AWS Solution Architect Associate certification.
That's what I'm telling. Actually, this course is for the cloud practitioner. That means the engineer who want to get a hands-on experience on the AWS cloud, but not professionality. Experience is different, professionalism is different. Before going to the professionality, we have to come to moderate level of experience. Such a moderate level of experience you will get throughout this course. And professionality, when we will get, when we master or moderate, then we'll go to this professionality. So my course, whatever I have drafted, the course content, honestly speaking, will be targeted for this cloud practitioner. And with this cloud practitioner experience and then the knowledge, if we will add a few more services, then those becomes the associate certifications. And likewise, professional certifications slowly. Got my point? Huh?
Okay.
Sir, any prior things before the cloud practitioner?
No prerequisites. Linux basic concepts are good enough. Even that also not required, in my opinion. Not required.
Okay. So that means you will teach us from scratch.
Very scratch, correct. Very scratch.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Fine. Yeah. Thank you, folks.
Last one question, sir. Out of the AWS, like I'm looking for the microservices course, sir.
Okay, so tomorrow onwards, actually, it is starting microservices at 7 a.m.
Oh, 7 a.m., sir.
Okay, 7 a.m.
Sir, what about like your ongoing microservices pattern is there, right?
Correct. That microservices patterns and then microservices are starting at 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, 7 a.m. I think not possible for me, sir. Actually, 7 a.m.
Okay.
already occupied some other.
Okay.
Can I join that pattern course, sir? Is it help for me actually?
100%, because the patterns only we have to learn first to derive the microservices, because patterns will use as a solution for a problem. No?
Yeah, correct.
So, so as a solution, we will apply the that pattern, and then we will derive the microservices.
That is
will be
8
helpful.
a.m. right? 8 a.m. right, sir?
8 a.m. But 8 a.m. and then 7 a.m. Both I merged to 7 a.m. only from tomorrow onwards.
Oh,
I think you can
sir,
opt for the recordings if you are interested. Just check for an alternate.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, folks.
both-
That's all.
Both like okay, you are saying both merging, right? Like,
Yes,
sir, what is the fee structure, sir, for that?
That is 3K INR
For both, right?
for both. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, folks. Rest of the
Join.
things we will discuss tomorrow. Sorry, I'm so sorry for this, but I have to drop off now. Rest of the things we'll discuss for sure tomorrow. I will give the enough time for you to ask more questions tomorrow. Thank you so much, guys. I'm stopping.